We've got people flying around with magical hammers. We got guys that turn green when they get mad. We've got magical stones that can grant the user's wishes. My point is that in some instances, we have to stop expecting complete realism when we go to a superhero movie. Did you know that there's a movie coming out this year that has a man made out of rocks? Yeah. This is all just very much fiction. But is this new Captain America movie a movie that is going to satisfy fans of the MCU? Well, there's even people out there that liked the Eternals. Captain America Brave New World has some extra challenges that previous Marvel movies did not have. It used to be you would see the latest Marvel MCU movie in theaters, but after Endgame, they started shifting a lot of their focus to their TV efforts on Disney+. So if you did not follow along with any of those things, well, you might find yourself a bit confused with some of this movie. Particularly Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a series that basically teased this movie up. Captain America Brave New World stars Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, Tim Blake Nelson, Shira Haas, Danny Ramirez, and Giancarlo Esposito. I make no promises about any of those pronunciations, so don't quote me. You can tell right from the very beginning of this movie that they are going for an espionage vibe, kind of like the way Captain America Winter Soldier felt. In this film, we have Sam Wilson's Captain America coming up against a new shadow threat that is driving a wedge between the US and other countries, which all starts with a coordinated attack on the newly elected president, Thaddeus Ross. What? Thaddeus Ross? I thought that guy was the guy who hates the Hawk, and then he got elected Secretary of State, and then he became what's going on here? One of my biggest concerns going into this movie was that it was going to feel really strange having all these characters that are supposed to be Hulk movie characters in a movie about Captain America. And not even the original Captain America. This is Sam Wilson's Captain America. And although I do think that these characters worked out pretty well, I think there might have been a better story for Sam Wilson's Captain America for his first solo movie. Is it weird if I keep saying Sam Wilson's full name? I think it's weird. I'm going to stop doing that. It's clear that Marvel has been starting to pay attention to all their abandoned plot points because they are starting to go back and try to address some of them. But we all know damn well what you did to the Mandarin. You're not pulling anything on us. And the only reason you gave us a new Mandarin is because everyone hated it. As cool as it was to see Marvel finally pick up the story thread of the leader, the character played by Tim Blake Nelson, first introduced in 2008 in the movie The Incredible Hulk, it was disappointing as hell to see the final result of his design. We have been waiting since 2008 to see the leader. And this is what you give me. Like I said at the beginning of this video, there is all kinds of wacky fictional stuff happening. Why couldn't we give us the comic book version of the leader? Not only is his design off, but his motive in this movie is a little messy, and his power set seems like it was nerfed. Frankly, he lost a lot of intrigue that they built up with his character in The Incredible Hulk. The earlier parts of the movie, he was coming off a bit more mysterious, and I was kind of thinking of the way they were teasing the emergence of Wilson Fisk in the Daredevil series. I was like, ooh, the Shadow Man in the distance. But once he started coming forward in the story, he just felt like a letdown. And really, I'm surprised that Tim Blake Nelson, I mean, why did we bring this guy back after all these years to just screw up his character? Shame. Where's that bell? Where's the shame bell? I need the shame bell. Harrison Ford steps into the shoes of Thaddeus Ross, a character played by the late William Hurt, who died a few years ago of cancer, unfortunately. I think Harrison is a great actor. I have been a fan of his for a long time. Star Wars, Indiana Jones. This man has one hell of a resume. Blade Runner, one hell of a resume. For the most part, I think it was a very smart choice of Harrison to not try to copy the performance that William Hurt gave. It would have just been weird, it would have felt unnatural, and it would have been very, very distracting. But that being said, I wouldn't call this one of Harrison Ford's better roles. I do like that they embraced the character flaws, and it does play a big part of the storyline, but again, I think that there was a better story to be told here. Anthony Mackie, well, this man is a solid actor. I have no complaints about his performances in this movie. And I loved the dynamic between he and Danny Ramirez's character, Joaquin Torres. Joaquin is the Falcon to this new Captain America, just like Sam Wilson was the Falcon to Steve Rogers' Captain America. And their bond is great. They have awesome chemistry, really do add a good buddy element to this movie. Now, it may sound like I have nothing but issues with this movie, but that is not true. There is still plenty about this movie that I truly did enjoy. Even when the movie movie was letting me down at times, I was thoroughly engaged. I was very pulled into this story. I love a good spy story, and this movie was going with that. And it has some fantastic action scenes. The fight with the Red Hulk was also a major highlight. They've gotten so good with the CGI, the Hulk has never looked better. And I also appreciated that, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this movie continues to tell the story of the major shoes that Sam is trying to fill.
You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
He's a black man taking over a role from a white man that everyone considered to be the ideal version of Captain America. And just like he would in the real world, if this was a real person, he encounters a lot of systemic racism. People doubting his abilities, people looking down on him. They just don't like that there's a black man wearing that outfit. And sure, there's always the same people out there that say there's nothing wrong, there's no racism going on, but it's pretty funny how the people who are constantly saying that message are the people who really don't have anything to worry about. Look in the mirror and tell me if your skin color has ever caused you problems. So there is an important message in this movie about how black people, even when they achieve great heights, are still looked down on compared to their white counterparts. And I'm sorry if this is an uncomfortable subject for people to talk about, but it is very much still going on, and it is a factor in this movie's storyline. And I think it will be so long as Sam is Captain America, because that systemic racism, there's no sign of that going away. And so as long as we're treating people like that in the real world, it's going to factor into our stories. Yeah, I think there is a solid message in this movie, but it's definitely buried under a messy script with all kinds of insane MCU action. Where this falls in terms of MCU outings, well, I really couldn't help but feel like this felt like Falcon and the Winter Soldier Season 2. It didn't really feel like it achieved the heights of an actual Marvel movie. It felt like a continuation of a Disney Plus series. That's a shame because I feel like there was a lot of potential here, and I was super excited to see Anthony Mackie take up the mantle of Captain America. He is a great actor, and I loved the way they transitioned with Cap handing him the shield. It felt natural and it felt earned, despite what certain people might want to say. I want to feel excited for the future of the MCU, but maybe, just maybe, we aren't gonna get those great heights back. Is Thunderbolts going to be a return to that greatness that we are looking for? Is Avengers Doomsday going to be a return to that greatness that we're looking for? By the way, if that movie isn't everything that they say it's going to be, then the MCU is cooked. So for me, this movie is a 7 out of 10. It is certainly not a disastrous movie. It's just not reaching the heights that we have seen before. It's lower in terms of standards and quality. That's my thoughts of this movie. What did you guys think of this movie? Please put your thoughts of this movie in the comments. And if you liked this video, please do me a solid by hitting that little thumb button. That's how you let me know that you liked this video, you liked something I said, you liked the way I edited it. There's a lot of different things that goes into making these videos, and I would appreciate you letting me know that it doesn't all totally suck. While we're at it, if you want to hear more things from me, you should subscribe to this channel. Later.